Hello and welcome back to FrogClan. This week we are picking up where we left off. I did get a chance to edit last episode and it seems I was peaking the microphone quite a bit. So I will do my best to avoid doing that this go here. But we're gonna go ahead and get started with a quick cat review and time skip probably. So I did get a few comments last time requesting that Eva and Adam both get suffixes. Not really opposed to that, so we can go ahead and randomize that. That's a fun one. So now we've got Eva Hawk and Adam Streak. So that's pretty fitting for Adam's single stripe pelt there. I think that's pretty good though. And we're gonna go ahead and time skip. Okay, so now we are into 100 moons for our clan's age. We still have 20 more to go before our next event, so that's still quite a ways away. We're gonna be getting there slowly but steady. It seemed to be pretty well received to be going at a slower pace. I can always pick up as we go. But starting off here, we actually have a very nice event in Bright Torrent, healing from their bite wound by getting another scar, which means another mutation. It looks like Adam Shriek's headache is gone. And as we inspect the herb stores, it says that all the time went bad will have to be replaced, so we'll get through there. We've also got an injured warrior from Raccoon Clan asking to join our clan in exchange for healing. So pretty similar to before, I think this warrior is going to have at least one mutation, because why else would they be trying to come to FrogClan for shelter? Looks like their name is Websim. We'll check them out in just a second here. So we'll just go ahead and give this a quick scroll. A lot of rolling through mutations that we're going to have to do, which will be very nice. Hopefully we'll get something new. Okay, so here's Websim. She is an adult female with pale green eyes, a single stripe pelt that I can't really see the stripe on, short fur length, 73 moons old. She's nervous and a fish-like swimmer with competent experience. Let's see. Websim was ostracized from their old clan, but no one really knows why. They joined the clan on Moon 100 at the age of 73 moons. So it could definitely be for a trait that she has. This is what she's going to look like healthy, so it looks like she's got one back ginger leg there. I'm going to go ahead and roll and see what she's got. With her trait there being a fish-like swimmer, it could very well be an aquatic-based one. Okay, so just the one. Sinbad hears my dice going and he's getting very excited. Okay, it looks like Websim actually has poisonous blood. So I can definitely see traits like that going unnoticed for a large part of a cat's life until suddenly something happens and then they realize that she's not quite as normal as she seems. But she's definitely welcome here. She naturally rolled just the one mutation, so she would have gotten that anyway, regardless of her status about coming into the clan. So it just really works out pretty well there. We also get to roll for Bright Torrent here. Bright Torrent already has quite a few different mutations, so she's going to get something on her head, ears, or body, or eyes. She doesn't really have that many more options. Okay, so it looks like for Bright Torrent she ended up with a narrow head, which helps her be a little bit more streamlined. She's definitely starting to look like a warrior with her many, many scars now, though. I'm going to go through their various statuses here, and we'll see if there's anything interesting coming up. Pebblepaw is currently wishing they understood the apprentice's inside jokes. which is really sad. He's a little bit older for apprentices, seeing as he's a medicine cat, he's going to be an apprentice longer, though he is getting pretty close to graduation. So he's probably being excluded from fellow apprentices who are younger, since they probably see him as old, maybe kind of weird because he is in the healing side of things. So that's kind of sad for Pebblepaw, but I think he'll be a really good medicine cat for us. Eva Hawk here is currently into her Elder Morph already. So she'll probably be retiring here soon, but we'll see how long she wants to be a warrior for. Ignis, our bloodthirsty cat with unnatural senses, is licking fresh kill blood off their lips a little too intently. There's definitely some interesting stories here with Ignis that I feel like we're gonna end up seeing at some point. But for right now, I think the clan is probably not fully aware of just how intense Ignis is, since really she was pretty caring and nurturing while she was in the medicine den with her broken back. I think it was her back that was broken. Regardless, she was very caring. It's probably going to be a pretty rude awakening if she does end up doing anything harmful to the clan. Hair Shadow and Blitzo Shadow are both sparring, so they're probably sparring together. They do have a fair bit of like for one another, it seems, so there could be some friendship there. Bitepaw is watching and learning from Ignis. Bitepaw's mentor is Jirachi Lightning, who's about as opposite from Ignis as we can get in this clan. But it just makes you wonder how Bitepaw is doing, since she doesn't really have any kind of parental figure in the clan directly. And she does have that insecure trait, so if she sees Ignis as being a really renowned warrior, then maybe she could be being influenced on the wrong side of things too. And I feel like Jirachi Lightning would be right there to help out with Bitepaw, but I feel like Bitepaw is still too young and immature to really appreciate what Jirachi Lightning is doing for her in any kind of mentor or even motherly perspective. Rowanpaw is currently saving the softest bedding for her own nest, and Conchpaw is eavesdropping on Rowanpaw, so probably hearing her brag about doing it. Poor Weedpaw is fighting back tears after missing a catch, so Weedpaw, who was catcher by two legs for at least a little bit last time, is probably really struggling with her role in the clan. And if it was an option, I think it would be really cool if we could just let her go live her pet's life as a kitty pet, if that's something that she wanted to do. But really the only thing that we could do would be to completely, you know, send them outside of the clan, and that's not really something I want to do to Weedpaw. You know, just exile them. So, poor Weedpaw. Rainpaw is helping to reinforce the camp wall of brambles, so maybe we're expecting some trouble here. But Rainpaw is strict, so he's probably just a little bit more leaning towards the sides of preparation than anything. Okay, so I sent Jirachi Lightning and Bitepaw out for their own one-on-one training session. Bitepaw was disagreeing with Jirachi Lightning about how to perform a technique, and tired of hearing about how they don't understand, Jirachi Lightning swings around, performing a flawless rendition. Chastened, Bitepaw lowers her gaze. They'll follow Jirachi Lightning's way of doing things then. So there's definitely some tension between the two of them. And Jirachi Lightning, I feel like, really wants to push Bitepaw to genuinely be their best self. But Bitepaw, again, I just don't think is really having that right now. Maybe she'll appreciate it later, but definitely not now. Okay, so Assyria Star took Ignis and their two apprentices out on a hunting patrol. We spot an eagle on wing overhead and watch as it swoops to dig its talons through the spine of an impressively huge fish. But then it doesn't take its catch into the air, perhaps it's too heavy. I honestly think with our current distribution of cats that Ignis would totally convince Wisteria Star that this is a good idea. So we'll go ahead and proceed here and hope for the best. We end up using the eagle as a scout for their own hunt, and eventually manage to catch several smaller catches from the same area that cumulatively are just as impressive as the eagle's massive one. Okay, so not too bad there. Brighthorn and Pearlpaw have a good time training together, and their coordination with each other grows stronger. Brighthorn really helps Pearlpaw gain confidence working with other cats. I feel like Brighthorn has really mellowed out and really proven herself as a part of the clan since she was born, basically. Okay, so our patrol spots the badger making a den on Clan territory. Not really our problem, but let's go and proceed. We're definitely not going to antagonize it. Blitzo Shadow tells the patrol to continue on and hops over the border to walk to Clan's camp. They are greeted at the camp entrance with bristled fur, angry hisses, and the leader demands to know what they're doing there. They explain the situation with their smooth talking skills, manage to convince the cats of their good intentions. The leader thanks them and orders the patrol to escort them back to the border. Well, that definitely could have gone a lot worse, but I was hoping between our fighting and speaking that whether it was interacting with Clan or fighting the badger, it would have been okay, and it seems like it was. Okay, so all patrols there really went pretty well. I don't think we had one negative thing happen, knock on wood. So we'll go ahead and jump right into our next time skip. Inspired by Pebblepaw's boundless energy and courage, Murklaw names them Pebble Stalk and welcomes them as a full medicine cat. Okay, so I'll check out Pebble Stalk as their full self in just a little bit here. Murklaw's soreness is abated, and Murklaw is helping reinforce the camp walls when they got a thorn stuck in their paw. It feels like their formerly dislocated joint just isn't the same anymore. Murklaw is understanding, but prepares Twilight Glide for the possibility that this could be permanent. Pearlpaw has gotten a heat stroke, and we notice that Melane's gone bad and will have to be replaced. Rainpaw received a present, crow feathers from Greyheart, and decided to keep it with them on their pelt. That's probably a pretty combination. Eva Hawk was trying to fluff up their nest when they saw a thorn inside their bedding. Another prank, but I couldn't fool them. Adam Shriek received the present, cicada wings from Rowanpaw, and decided to keep it with them. So, Wisteria Star is taking liking to Jirachi Lightning. So, it really seems like Twilight Glide could be in for a really rough time. I'm assuming that's what that prompt meant anyway. And it's probably just constant joint soreness from trying to compensate for their missing leg, but let's just take a look here and double check that. Okay, yeah, so it is for Twilight Glide, born without a leg and has constant joint pain. That's probably a comorbid condition or just something that comes along with having to compensate for the missing leg. So that's really unfortunate that Twilight Glide's going through that, but I'm sure that she will not be put down by that at all. Wisteria Star is currently assessing some apprentices, which I do think our apprentices are about to graduate anyway, so we'll see what they look like here in a little bit. Sniphusk is wondering what it would be like to be a leader. Pebble Stalk grew to be thoughtful, a fantastic healer, and a good fighter, but he currently made a mess of the herbs and is panicking. Especially since Murklaw is strict and is currently forbidding anyone from disturbing them. I'm sure that Pebblestalk is just really feeling the pressure of his new full name and is trying to prove that he is worth a name. I think he's probably going to have a few mess-ups in his youth as a medicine cat, but I think he'll settle into his role pretty well. Here's Adam Streak with their new cicada wings. She's currently playing with her food. Agnes is rethinking their life choices. I don't really think Agnes is doubting joining FrogClan at this juncture, but I think this may have something to do with whatever her backstory in the other clan is. I don't think I ever actually checked what Webstim's injury is. It looks like she's injured with a burn, which is a pretty unusual injury. I don't know how long she's going to be down with the burn, especially since it doesn't denote severe or minor. Just somewhere in the middle, probably. So, it could be a while before she's back on her feet. A lot of cats are hoping that Sniphusk assigns them to the next patrol, so I think there's something that they're hoping to see out there. Bitepaw is 11 moons and has 41 experience, so it's about time for Wisteriasaur to be assessing the apprentices. I'd be a little surprised if she makes it next go, but she's not too far off from getting her name. And really the same for all of the apprentices here, it looks like. Pearlpaw's sick with heat stroke, but hopes Nipuscus knows how well their training is going. She probably just doesn't want to be too far behind her siblings, really, since she's been sick a little bit more than the rest of them. And here's Rainpaw with his new crow feathers. He's currently asking Websim for some hunting tips, so I think a lot of the apprentices are currently really curious about Websim, since she's from a different clan originally, at least. So they're probably wanting to know how other clans actually do things and see if it's interesting or something worth doing for themselves. Murklaw does manage to regather some of the mullein that we lost. Pebblestalk gathers some wild garlic, and while it restocks herb stores, they are close to Pebblestalk's nest, and they are very fragrant herbs. Yay! I am just gonna send all the apprentices out just with their mentor alone, just to try and get them that last little bit, in case they are able to get their names next moon. But it turns out that Sneezepaw just wants to argue with Creek Jumble about the nature of octopi. Ignis takes Conchpaw out to try and learn some hunting techniques, but doesn't step up to teach, making everything feel awkward and like a waste of time, and the cats return to camp a little irritated. Weedpaw, meanwhile, soaks up all of Sniphusk's best tips and tricks on a nice practice hunting session. And Rowanpaw has an equally successful time battle training with Wisteriasaur. Adam, Shriek, and Shining Paw work on their teamwork, and they both gain confidence working with other cats. Twilight Clyde and Rainpaw both have a pretty good time learning some battle techniques. The patrol hears the cat begging for their housefolk to come back, just barely legible over the sound of monsters speeding away. Blitzo Shadow finds the kitty pet collapsed by the thunder path, waiting for their housefolk. Blitzo Shadow comforts them, asking why they were left here. The only explanation that the kitty pet has is that they're sick and maybe too much of a burden. They're offered a place in FrogClan. And Pinebeam has joined the clan, and our reputation with outsiders has improved. So, here's Pinebeam. He's a male senior adult with emerald eyes and a Bengal pelt. He's 101 moons old, so definitely getting to senior adult. He's charismatic and a great teacher. His backstory is that he used to live on a boat with 2 legs but decided to join the clan after he was dumped, in this case. And unfortunately, he's sick with red cough, so we don't exactly have the best track record healing that. This is what he looks like healthy. We're gonna go ahead and roll and see if he's got any conditions, or any mutations rather, and hope that he is able to survive the red cough. Okay, so Pinebeam rolled very poorly. He's gonna be a normal cat anyway, so we'll have to see what fate has in store for him. Our other border patrol finds a small dog yapping at the edge of our territory. Mobbed by cats near blind with blood in its eyes, the dog flees from FrogClan, yelping pitifully. After what happened with Spider Smoke, I don't think there's any love lost for the clan and dogs. Okay, moving into 102 Moons, we do have some ceremonies to go over. As the clan cheers for their new warrior, Weed Crackle, Basil Nibble purrs loudly. Their kit is finally a warrior. A new journey has begun for them, and Basil Nibble knows that Weed Crackle's forethought will lead them through anything. Wisteriasaur calls the clan to meeting and declares Shining Paw to be a warrior. They are now called Shining Leaf and are celebrated for their friendliness. Basil Nibble can hardly believe how quickly time has passed since Rainpaw was a kit. It still feels like just yesterday that they were tumbling around the nursery chasing after Mossball or some other cat's tail. Misty-eyed with pride and joy, Basil Nibble throws their head back and tries to cheer the loudest as Rainpaw is named Rain Crest in honor for their dedication. So I think Pearlpaw is the only one left behind of Basil Nibble's litter, and none of the other cats at the same age graduated, so that's probably going to be pretty hard for them. Going into our health here, Pebblestalk can't give Sniphusk answers. Their tail is gone, and yet the pain in it remains. Just phantom limb pain. Murklaw's small cut is no longer bothering them. Shining Leaf has gotten a running nose. Going into Leaf Bear, that's not great. It's not allergies probably though. Pearlpaw has recovered from their heat stroke, and Webstem has healed from their burn. We've noticed that all the Betony has gone bad and will have to be replaced. Okay, we'll give this a quick scroll. Jirachi Lightning had a difficult conversation with Twilight Glide, and they now have a deeper understanding of each other. It's really nice to see cats continuing to, you know, further their relations, especially for like parent and kit. I feel like that's just not really something you see a lot in the actual books themselves. But Jirachi Lightning does just strike me as a very maternal cat for whatever reason. So it just feels right that she would be one of the cats to keep trying to further her relation with her kit. Okay, so Sniphusk is down with phantom pain. She can't work because of it. Pebblestalk is realizing what an omen might mean. We're still too far away for our next omen for the actual event to come in, but this could just be a regular day-to-day omen, and from the sounds of it, I don't know if that's a good thing. Pinebeam is purring warmly. I really hope that he pulls through. Webstem is back up without even a scar, and she's currently sparring with some clanmates. Weed Crackle is wondering how Rain Paw is doing, now Rain Crest. She grew up to be a very pretty cat with an interesting color eyes there. She's insecure but a fish-like swimmer. Here's Shining Leaf. He grew to be charismatic, a talented swimmer and learner of lore. It's very interesting to me how they both ended up being very good swimmers, but I think they did have the trait liking to splash in puddles, so that's probably not too strange. Here's Rain Crest grown up. Doesn't really have any distinctive crest-like markings, but still sounds like a pretty regal name. He grew to be strict, also a good swimmer, and is currently wishing to be more like Spider Smoke. I know at the end there, Spider Smoke had a few statuses about apprentices, so maybe he was befriending Rain Crest in some way. Here's Bite Paw. She is still an apprentice, should be graduating next moon though. She is currently ambitious, interested in clan history, and a careful listener. She's at the missing cat den after a small injury. Here's Sneeze Paw, who's injured with a sprain. Compassionate, confident with words, and oddly observant. This is what Sneeze Paw will look like healthy and grown. And then here's Rowan Paw, who's promising to do her best today. Also grew to be a very pretty cat. She's rebellious with an active imagination and splashes in puddles. She's also very close to graduation, but I imagine some of that rebelliousness is coming from being delayed at getting her warrior name comparatively. And then there's Conchpaw, who is bloodthirsty, mossball hunter, and oddly observant, and is starting a fight with another apprentice. Ignis, I think, really influenced her, but I think that could make for a very interesting dynamic moving forward, so I'm not like mad about it from a storytelling perspective, but I really wasn't necessarily expecting Conchpaw to be so influenced. Meanwhile, Pearlpaw is making the other apprentices laugh. She is troublesome and interested in oddities. Murklaw is startled by weird sounds and whispers on the wind. We know what that means. We follow the strange sounds, but find the body of an unknown queen with their kits beside them slowly going cold. Murklaw cancels their patrol and returns to camp to get help sending these lost souls to StarClan. So unfortunately, we do not save the queen or her kits. Pearlpaw's mini statuses and skills is troublesome and omen. which sounds really ominous, but we're going to send her out training with Bright Torrent. While Pearlpaw and Bright Torrent are out walking, Pearlpaw seems preoccupied. When Bright Torrent brings the patrol to a halt and asks what's wrong, they reveal they've been having a hard time sleeping. Their dreams are filled with shadows and images. So Pearlpaw's omen could well be some affinity with the Dark Forest. That honestly sounds like it could be a vision. That's unusual, and also not to say that's been particularly fun for Pearlpaw to deal with everything, Bright Torrent hastens to add, but it's not a bad thing. Those connected to StarClan in such ways are rare and have been critical for protecting FrogClan in the past. I mean, this is true. It's this connection that also allows them to possibly get warnings about what's to come. The clearer the warning, the better the cats can prepare. So maybe Pearlpaw will be our new cat that brings in the actual omen or vision. Rowanpaw learns a lot from a Sirius star. Jirachi Lightning notices that Bitepaw isn't acting like their usual self. Jirachi Lightning guides Bitepaw to sit, gently asking what's wrong. Bitepaw, cuddled close to Jirachi Lightning's side, whispers that they feel like a failure and that they're not doing good enough. Jirachi Lightning gently tugs them close, mirroring that Bitepaw is more than their failures. Failure hurts, yes, but with it comes a chance to learn. All they can do is try not to make the same mistake twice. Okay, I feel like that's a pretty good conclusion for Bitepaw's arc of rebelliousness as an apprentice. And fingers crossed, moving forward, she'll have a much better relationship with Jirachi Lightning now. The patrol hears desperate screams coming from a nearby lake. As soon as they see the bag wiggling and screaming, they jump into action. Unfortunately, Websim was just a tad too slow and got kicked quite hard against a tree. Eva Hawk orders the patrol to protect and carry Websim while they retreat, with pain in their heart for the unknown cat they couldn't save. And Websim got a broken back. Aw. That's just really hard. We couldn't save a cat, and Websim got really injured in the action. So she's definitely going to be down for a while here now. Hopefully she does heal well from that, though. Okay, we hear a cat begging for their housefolk to come back, just barely legible over the sound of a monster speeding away. Unfortunately, we were not able to save this kitty pet either, and we curse the Two Legs who abandoned such a loyal cat. That was a really rough moon for trying to save some outsiders. We were not successful, and we got hurt in the meanwhile. But that's all I've got time for today, so I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Until next time, stay safe and happy. I will see you then, and bye!